It's one of the biggest franchises in the world. And, when you think about it, there's none bigger. It's worth billions even now around the world because we all still go to see the movies. We still watch them. They're licensed to television companies. But now, seemingly, even, yes, can you believe this? The brilliant 007, none other than James Bond himself, has fallen foul of the land of woke. But as ever, really, what's behind this? Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company. Now, the bottom line is when you think about it, 007, the brilliant James Bond has been part of our psyche now for over, 70 years. Although people really associate the role with the late and brilliant Sir Sean Connery from Dr. No way back in 1962, it had been played by various other people in sort of other guises, but not as successfully. Obviously, I've been lucky enough to meet all of the big Bonds. And, when you think about it, it's such an accolade to be part of that particular franchise. I mean, I never realized when you think about it that Raquel Welch, the late and beautiful actress who we recently lost, was dying to be back in the movie, even though she had to remove herself to go off and do another movie. But she still felt that she could have become something of a Bond baddie. I never quite saw Raquel as a baddie, though, did you? Beautiful lady. But obviously now, as you look at the books by the brilliant Ian Fleming, when you look at it in this today's context, yes, they certainly use references that perhaps other people would say trigger things, And this is part of the problem, isn't it? Because we're living in a new society that if we say the wrong word or we don't agree with the narrative, then seemingly all of these things have to be rewritten or removed. We told you about that recently with the books by the classic children's author Roald Dahl. I mean, it's ridiculous, because if you look at it, it's of a time people wrote books in that era. Those were the phraseology that people used. It just seems strange. I mean, you look at Agatha Christie, they're casting her eye over her work now, and you kind of think, well, does it matter? She's the world's most famous and biggest best-selling authoress. Why change anything? But seemingly so. Now, the Bond franchise, as I say, is worth a colossal amount of money. The books still sell around the world in droves because people like to read the book after they've seen the film. Now, what I find fascinating here is the publisher is deciding whether to adjust certain phraseology so that it doesn't spark any more controversy. People don't want to be offended and they feel this will dent sales. Now, the people who own Bond right now is none other than the giant Amazon. And it's fascinating when you think about that, because why would they care? They're the biggest global brand in the world. Really, do you need to change it? At the moment, we're still in flux as to who is going to be the next James Bond. But a lot of people said that the last Bond movie, the one with the brilliant Daniel Craig, Too Young to Die, well, the bottom line was they felt that that really had too many messages in it, wasn't Bond enough. Now, the producers, alongside the publishers, are saying that they've got to clean up their act in the 21st century if this particular character is to survive further. As ever, though, I'd love to know, what do you think to this? Is it wrong to change such classics that we've all enjoyed, as I say, watched every Christmas, every bank holiday? Why do they need changing? And it's always a percentage of the few, not the majority. Why do they not listen to the majority who decide whether we like them or not? But more importantly, when you think about this, are you not fed up now of everything just pandering to the lowest common denominator? For me, I don't think you need to change anything about James Bond. It was perfect when it was written, and it's perfect now. If the stories change as we move into the 21st century, that is the world we're in. Leave the past as it is, part of history. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.